Some experiments give us some fun things to talk about. Washington Sundar bowling in the death overs. Who would have thought? This is how it all panned out. 167 on the board for India. Australia chose to bowl first. And at one stage we thought, maybe not enough. But clearly, more than enough. India win by 48 runs. And with that, they keep their record of not losing a series in Australia intact. You're watching Cricbuzz Live with Mr. Bhogle and Mr. Bhattacharjya. Surprised to see what India did with the ball or not?
No, Mr. Batavia, no.
Sir, go on.
No, Mr. Batavia. No, because I don't think Australia ever really got into the game big time. And I think if you look back, where was the key moment? It was a little spell by Axar Patel.
Yep.
And I think Axar Patel showed, the moment Axar came in, you thought, it's not going to be very easy for them. And thereafter, see what Varun Chakrabarti does, what Bumrah comes back in his last over and does, what Arshdeep does. And thereafter, you just see the game changes. But to me, the one staggering conclusion is that off-spinners can bowl to right-handers.
And Washington Sundar can bowl in this sport. He finally comes in to bowl in the 17th. All of us were secretly happy or openly happy.
No, absolutely. I mean, that was the point. That do they go back to Dube? Or do they give... And finally a left-hander is emerged, you know. So even the captain had an excuse. Dwash is in now. Yeah. There's an opportunity to play him. But that's the point that this is like a religious theocracy that, you know, this is not banned. You are an off-spinner, you cannot bowl to a right-hander. Ridiculous. I mean, just look at what he's done. Or what would you do with Muthai Muralidharan if you had him in your attack? So that's the point that I think lots of myths have been broken in this game. And I think it's really good and I thought really astute captaincy from Surya Kumar Yadav as well. The way he's used his bowlers, marshalled his bowlers.
Brought in Shivam Dube at a little moment. When he took him off, the easiest thing would have been maybe to get Washington Sundar there or try and see how I could finish his overs. He said, doesn't matter. I'll get my lead bowlers in. I'll create a situation where I'll need as little as possible. I mean, yes, Washington Sundar got 3 wickets, but it would have required a sensational innings from Stoinis from there on to win it. So there were 3 easy wickets. So, I mean, he bowled well. But I thought his captaincy was, I'll use my best bowlers, I'll create a situation where they can't win from there, and then I'll use my remaining 2 overs. It's something that I've seen in his career as captain right from the beginning. Whenever there is an option, he takes the more aggressive wicket-taking option every time. And that's why I think this generation, people like Surya Kumar Yadav and the others, they just get the T20 game. It's like when DK is here. They just get the T20 game.
And that was after he got the wicket of Tim David off that slower ball off-cutter bouncer. He got that big wicket and we all thought he'd bowl the 70. It wasn't to be. Washington Sundar was brought in and it worked like magic. Early finish as well. 48-run victory for India. Now, the batting card. Only 48 in the power play and we still thought 168 very much chaseable. But then the innings just nosedived.
I think it nosedived. You know, if for the past few, Tim David has been really giving them runs. And I think, look, you've also messed around with this batting order quite a bit. And now you've got, suddenly Maxwell has come in, you know, Josh Philippe has come in. So I think somewhere there is a certain amount of inconsistencies. Matthew Short was behind in the order. He was originally, Travis Head was opening. So they've also shuffled around a lot. I think they also realized that this is not a 200 easy pitch. This is a pitch where it's going to be difficult to bat. So they tried to sort of hold in there and this thing. But the moment in that 10th over, remember 8th, 9th over, they're still 1 wicket down.
Yeah.
Suddenly those 2 wickets fall. And I think the game changes totally.
You know, I think in a 160, 170 kind of game, something we used to refer to earlier as a 140, 150 game, which we now refer to as a 160, 170 game, you need 1 Dal Chawal player. 1. You can't have 2 or 3 because then you get into a traffic jam. But in a 200 game, maybe you don't need a Dal Chawal player. Everyone goes boom, boom. This is a very powerful Australian batting order for a nice flat deck where the ball's coming on. I think in this kind of game, you need that Steve Smith kind of player in between.
Should Mitchell Marsh have been that Dal Chawal player tonight?
Could be, but they've committed to playing a certain brand of the game. And you'll get days like this when the ball is stopping and coming.
They needed 66, 103 for 5 at that stage. And Maxwell plays that Glenn Maxwell shot. Wrongest time possible to play that shot with only a month to go for the IPL auction.
There's never a right time. Oh, sorry. I started reacting.
He swung it well. He turned it well.
I started reacting to the first half of the sentence. Moral of the story, in spite of being so many years in television, wait for the sentence to end. Well done.
What kind, was it on that shot at that stage?
Maxwell's definition
68
of
needed in
risk
5, I think.
is very different. Maxwell's definition of risk is very different because he's so extravagantly gifted that he can pull it off sometimes, that sometimes he gets out in the most exotic ways possible. So there are dismissals in cricket and there are Maxwellian dismissals in cricket.
I thought this is almost like physics, Maxwell's law of dismissals.
Yeah.
If the left wing of the umpire points upwards and the right
Left-hand
wing...
rule and the right-hand rule. Well done, Joy. Well done.
See, I told you this is Joy Factor Live. You keep learning new things apart from cricket. Stoinis as well, reverse sweep. When you have the power to clear any field, why play the reverse sweep?
I think that's the point. And Harsha's made a very valid point that, in an order which is designed for pitches which are easy to play on, where shots can be played, when you suddenly put them on a pitch where the ball just holds up a bit and you need to have more discipline while batting, I think they didn't adjust very well. Neither Maxwell nor Stoinis adjusted well. I'm not going to blame right up front. I'm not going to blame Mitch Marsh because he'd set himself up and he was trying to go harder. But these two batters, at the stage of the innings they were in, those were not shots they could have tried.
Now,
I mean, in all fairness, once you get out, the shot always looks bad.
sure.
But maybe at that point, look, we don't get to see the field all the time. And I think it's a mandatory part of modern broadcasting to have that field. So maybe he saw a long on, a deep mid-wicket, a long off, and saw third inside the circle.
There for that.
And he said, look, maybe I can go over there.
Right, have to talk about Josh Inglis at number 3. Looked a bit lost against Axar and Varun. Josh Inglis at 3, enough evidence to say it's a bad idea at 3?
Sorry, I was a bit misled. Can you ask Joy that question? Because I was Googling Maxwell's left-hand rule in electromagnetism. So it's only on Cricbuzz that I think a panelist is allowed to Google something on a show, a Maxwell's left-hand rule in electromagnetism on a cricket program. So, sorry, can you please ask Joy what you were asking?
Do you have any theories on Josh Inglis at 3?
The right-hand rule, maybe.
The right-hander rule.
Correct.
He's done well at 3, though. For
12 of 11 today?
For Punjab, he's done well at 3.
Yeah.
So, maybe.
No, I think the point is that India is using, again, 5 spinners in that first 10 overs.
Yeah.
And I think the moment they realized that the pitch is a bit slow and they got the spinners in there and they started getting control, because what's happening now is that if they're not getting the breakthroughs from Bumrah up front or Arshdeep up front, then they're going to the spinners very early.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Inglis got a bit stuck. He couldn't get the spinners away today. And I think that's, once it gets stuck, then you're forced to take shots that you really don't want to. And at some point, Mitch Marsh was dropped, if you remember.
Yep.
Abhishek
On 21, yes.
on 21 of Arun Chakravarti. So pressure then starts building on the players. And I think that's what happened today.
The India bowling card will tell you that it's a 6 bowler that is the top story in this game. Pleasantly surprised to see Washington Sundar bowl the 17th.
5 for 23. The 5th and 6th bowler, 5 for 23.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but this is serious. This is serious bowling lineup on tracks like these, because there's one player in that Indian team. We never talk much about him, but every single game you look at the scorecard and there's a contribution there, either with bat or with ball. And in this case, Axar Patel.
Sure.
Axar Patel.
He's always in the game. He turned the game today. He's bowled 4 overs, 2 for 20.
Yep.
And the moment Axar comes in, shows what's possible on that wicket. Varun is bowled well. Bumrah comes back. This is a proper bowling lineup in surfaces like these.
He seems to take the life out of the middle order, their plans, because he bowled the 5th, 7th and 9th, and that's where I thought Australia lost their way.
That was a game changer. Absolutely. I feel whatever happened later, Washington Sundar picked up a haul because of a particular set of circumstances that has already been created.
Yeah.
But that circumstance has been created in those 3 overs. I feel that totally, because till this 4th or 5th over, they've not scored too fast, but they're doing okay. They haven't lost wickets. Once you're 77 for 3 in a pitch like this, 2 more wickets and you're suddenly down.
Perhaps the smoothest transition for India, white ball T20s from Jadeja to Axar. No problems at all. He offers pretty much...
I don't know if Axar would agree with that assessment. He might think there was no transition. I was always there.
Sure.
I'm good enough myself. Sure. No, but Axar is a very, very serious white ball cricketer.
Yeah.
And I mean, he'll turn down and tell me, test me achai khel leta hu main. But he's a proper white ball player. And now I think he's playing some of his best cricket.
Yeah.
he's got that responsibility. I know we talked about him coming down at 8. He sometimes goes up the order. It's a very fluid order when you're an Axar Patel. But I've enjoyed watching him play.
Couple of wickets for Shivam Dube as well. He opened the innings with the ball against Pakistan at the Asia Cup as well. Did fairly well in those 2 overs. But innings like these will help his confidence. Perhaps the first wicket, a touch lucky, but the second one was a very
I thought the second one is a great
one to Tim David.
Yeah, the one to Tim David, just putting that ball in there, extra bounce, little bit of extra bounce at top edge. I think the way he bowls intelligently. The first wicket didn't impress anyone.
Yeah.
And again, they say what's the most important thing for a bowler to be? Technique, skill, everything. A bowler also needs to be lucky. He just seems to have the knack of picking up important wickets. They used to say that about Mudassar Nazar, so many bowlers, golden arm. He's got that, and I feel Surya knows where to use him, and Surya probably captains him in Bombay as well.
Yeah.
So he knows when to put him, when to deploy him.
I think not only does he know how to use him, I think he tells him you're a bowler. And he tells him, I'm backing you. I believe you're a bowler. Come on, go and bowl. And he's probably budgeting for 2 overs. I don't think you can budget for more than that for Shivam Dube. So, okay, I'll budget 2 overs. Let me see if I can get 2 out of Shivam Dube. If going is good, I'll look for a third. But if he can give me 2 overs 15.
Is he performing optimally, or can he offer more as a bowler going forward?
I don't think so, no. Okay. Because you see, even the wickets that he got, 101, 103, 105, the odd ball, he's got the ability to bowl a quicker ball. But I think if he can give you 2 overs consistently in an 8-batter, 6-bowler setup, if he can give you 2 overs consistently, that's absolutely fine. Odd day, he'll give you 3.
Yeah.
Some days he'll struggle with 1. Some days he may not need to bowl.
On tracks where it's not coming on nicely, perhaps more dangerous Shivam Dube, because that change of pace can work, right? Especially in India.
Absolutely. And see, he's a big, strong lad.
Right.
So he has that ability to, he's not ever going to be express, but from when you transition even from 115 to 125, 126, you have the ability to surprise the batter and get a bit of extra bounce. And I think he can do that on occasion. He uses his cutters well. He's never going to swing the ball, but he uses his cutters well. He's an intelligent bowler. Again, I feel he's a 6th bowler, 7th bowler maybe. And that's all. The way the Indian team is constructed now, he doesn't need to be a 4th or 5th bowler.
Yeah.
For some reason, he's always talked down. I don't know. I see my friends talk about him. I see other people talk about him. For some reason, Shivam Dube gets talked down a little bit. And yet he's played 38, 39 games. He's been part of his own. There's only one game that India has not won. Yeah. That's not all his doing. Yeah. It's an occurrence. Sure. But see what he brings to the table. The only thing I'd want more from Shivam Dube is a little bit more athleticism deep in the field. But he's been given a specific role to play. When you got an 8 batters, that's why I keep harping on 8 batters. You can give someone a specific role. You've got long levers, you hit spin well, you're powerful. Yep. Your role is to destroy spin whenever you come in. Now, what are they saying? We want to play 3 spinners. We've got to get overs from somewhere. Even if you play 2 spinners. So, Shivam Dube, we trust you to bowl 2 overs. And nowhere was that trust seen more than in the final of the Asia Cup.
Yeah, open the ball.
Who gave Shivam Dube 2 overs in the power play? So first, he has to believe, the captain has to believe, and that is what all great captains do. They give you faith. They tell you, I'm backing you. And then an average bowler becomes a better bowler.
2 overs from Bumrah in the power play today, 2 in the death. And in that last over that he bowled, the 18th, he kept bowling the slower delivery. Is this like a master who knows that he wants to deliver a certain kind of delivery and he gets it right? It's almost like it's software programmed.
But too often nowadays, especially in this first spell, players play him out. Yeah. They just don't want to give him wickets. So the number of wickets he's getting are less because they're not taking chances of him. But this last, you're wondering, is it going to be another day when the bowlers at the other end are going to benefit?
Yeah.
And fortunately, he got that last slower ball in at 117 and got a wicket finally.
Arshdeep doesn't get enough game time. When he does, he only bowls 3. Today, they didn't need him.
That's all right. I mean, if there was another over, he would have bowled. He was down to bowl 4 overs. He would have bowled the last over. So he was down to bowl 4. I think he did all right. He had 1 expensive over, but I think he did all right. 3 overs, 1 for 22. For someone bowling in the power play, you take that. You're fine.
Right, one more game left that is going to be played in Brisbane. Have India answered any questions that they would have liked to, or do you just look at it as just another win? Maybe a little bit of bowling confidence for Washington Sundar, perhaps?
Could be, but he's feeling great about this now. Sure. So what has he told his captain? I'll give you 49 of 23 balls. I'm capable of doing that. If you want, I'll give you 3 wickets as well. I mean, at the end, you slog, you get a couple of extra wickets. But he's told his captain, I'm valuable with the ball, I'm valuable with the bat, you can never leave me out. And so it's actually Washington Sundar who's playing the Jadeja role, not Akshar. It's Washington who's playing the Jadeja role in this side.
Right, one more game left. How many more experiments left?
I think India is done with experiments now. I think they'll just want to finish it off because they have 10 more T20s in India to do more experiments with the order.
One game for Rinku. Is there a way to fit him in?
I mean, the only thing I would look at is to look at saying does Nitish Reddy get a chance ahead of Shivam Dube? And the reason I say that is because I think Nitish Reddy's chances of playing in T20s in India is even less, given the fact that we'll probably just play with 2 fast bowlers.
Yeah, he missed those early games.
Yes.
What that does, interestingly, is provide a right-hander in between.
Yep.
So now with Jitesh coming in, there's an additional right-hander. Otherwise with Rinku, we're in a situation where you've got Axar Patel, Shivam Dube, Rinku Singh, Washington Sundar. You had one left-hander after the other in the middle order, plus Abhishek at the top.
Yeah.
So it might not be a bad thing. They might give Nitish a game and say, okay, show us that you can give us 2 overs in between as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe that one, but you've got to play Rinku somewhere.
Don't be surprised if he does get a game and
Rinku for
bats at
Tilak?
3. Bats at 3, who knows?
Rinku for Tilak, but that's hard on Tilak as well.
We'll know on Saturday at about 1:20 p.m. We go on air at 1:15 p.m. However, now, after this series is done, we move our focus to the South Africa series. But before that, look at the Australia squad as well. Changes in that lineup as well. Take a look at that. It's a bit tough to make sense of this. Here we are then. Marley Beardman is there. We thought he'll get a game tonight, but he didn't. The young fast bowler. And Dwarshuis is very much there. So any changes that you'd recommend?
Well, Dwarshuis, Bartlett, Ellis, they're all next cabs of the rank when everyone is available. So I don't know if Beardman will get another game.
Yeah.
Also, I think Beardman's too young to play for Australia, isn't he? You've got to be 30, right?
30, exactly. They have a law there.
Yeah.
They have a law there.
And he's not even 21, right?
Yeah.
Under 21.
Yeah, you've got to be 30. Unless you're Cameron Green, you've got to be 30 to be in that side.
Constas also
Either 6 feet, above 6 feet 6 inches or above
or with a
30.
mustache these days, since it's November.
Yeah, there are some shocking mistakes.
The Australian team is a great cricket team. The worst hairstyles and the worst moustaches.
There were shocking.
I just wish Utpal Dutt was alive
Yeah.
to describe this moustache.
No, he had better ones. Nice, luxuriant moustaches.
They might play Mitch Owen somewhere. Because they like Mitchell Owen, so they might play Mitchell Owen in place of somebody there in between.
Okay, players to watch out for?
For India. Shubman Gill.
Among the runs today.
As it turns out, his 46 was good.
Correct.
As it turns out,
like
we
this,
didn't know at the time, but as it turns out, his 46 is good. That's why we always wait to talk about a game till both sides have played there. So yeah, Shubman Gill, Australia.
Owen?
I don't know, if he plays, look, he's tall, he hits the ball hard. It might be interesting. I wonder whether they look for him in place of short.
Surya, I'd like to see Surya.
Get a big one, no?
Yeah, get a big one.
What fun it'll be.
Just to see him batting in his magnificent, he's majestic when he's really, got everything going.
The game will be played at Brisbane. Do you see India winning 3-1? They're not losing the series.
Well, they've got the players to win it 3-1. Brisbane, it'll be a very different track from this one.
Bouncy.
The ball will bounce well, it'll come back well, and they don't have Hazelwood.
Yeah.
Remember, what an interesting comment from Abhishek Sharma at Melbourne. He said, I've never seen bowling like this. We knew what to expect, and we still were taken aback by what he could deliver. But on that bouncy-ish track, yeah, I mean, Australia's bowlers might bowl a little better.
Yeah.
But on a good track, India's batting is also very, very powerful.
For you, players to watch out for?
As I said, Surya from one side. And from the other side, I think Australia will be looking very carefully at Stoinis as well, because I think he needs to make a point. He needs to do something for them.
The freelancer, Marcus Stoinis, wants a shot at the World Cup in India. But that's for later. Once we're done with this series, we'll move to red ball cricket. India play a 2-match series at home against South Africa, who are playing against Pakistan these days. And the first test match will be played at the Eden Gardens. Let's take a look at the squads. South Africa first. In fact, let's take a look at India first. Here we go then. Rishabh Pant is back, scored 90 odd, I think, against South Africa A. So he's there. Dhruv Jurel scored 100 today against South Africa A in Bangalore. Pant is back as well. That's the big piece of news.
The only thing here to look to for me is whether India want the sort of lower middle order batting and a bit of seam-up bowling from Nitish Reddy, or do they say if Bumrah and Siraj are playing and we've got Kuldeep, Washington and Jadeja, we don't need a sixth bowling option. We'll instead play Dhruv Jurel as a batter.
Right.
And bat him at number 6. Then you have Jadeja 7, Washington 8, Kuldeep 9. So, I mean, it'd be hard on Jadeja to bat at 7, given that he's averaging, well above 50, 60 as a batter.
Yeah.
But that could be one option, especially if it's a spin-friendly track. Then maybe you want that extra pedigree batting, which Dhruv Jurel will provide. But I don't know if some of you followed the second test match, Pakistan versus South Africa. The second test match, Pakistan was starting to build a template of creating a turning track and playing with two bowlers, Noman Ali and Sajid Khan. And they lost to Simon Harmer, Keshav Maharaj and Senuran Muthusamy.
Yeah.
India have to learn from that. You prepare a turner, there's 3 spinners in that side, 2 of whom can bat.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what kind of track India give in Calcutta. What kind of track? The groundsman has a mind of his own there too. So he might well have saying, no, this is the kind of track I'll give you. So whatever. So actually I don't mind groundsman for a test match.
Yeah.
I don't mind the curator saying, it's my pitch, this is a track I give you. That's how it's been for the last 50 years in Australian cricket.
Home
But it'll be interesting to see whether India ask for a turner or whether they're worried that South Africa are coming with 3-finger spinners. Who would have thought in the time of Pat Simcox, fast bowler turned spinner, that South Africa would come with 3 spin bowling options?
The focus, though, will be on the return of Mr. Box Office, Rishabh Pant. In fact, there was a big crowd outside that Bangalore New Academy Stadium only to watch Rishabh Pant. And his return augurs really well for this India side.
It augurs well for cricket in general because, again, Rishabh Pant has a simple characteristic about him. He puts bums on seats.
Yeah.
He's a kind of person who people want to go and watch. And games, it's very important to have players like that. Yeah. You know, the one thing I was thinking about, though, is that given the conditions, Eden Gardens is probably one of the most pace-friendly pitches in the country at this point in time. Would they be tempted to find a place for Akashdeep? That will be interesting. And say that, okay, I'm not going to play Nitish Reddy, I go with Akashdeep. Bengal player, I play out here. Go with the third.
So you send a Kuldeep at 8 and say 3 spin, or you take away a spinner and play 3 quicks.
Yeah, I'm saying if Nitish Reddy is not there at all. And
it might be a peculiar situation where Bumrah, Akashdeep, Siraj, would they almost outscore? If you can see the South African squad, would they almost have more to offer on a seaming deck than South Africa with Rabada, Jansen and
Mulder?
Yeah, Mulder's sort of Mulder part-time. So what? Maybe they might be tempted to play Corbin Bosch.
Maybe probably.
Because Mulder's sort of medium pace. I look at this side, and it tells me that South Africa expect a certain kind of track.
I agree.
Since you mentioned Kolkata, is it the end of the road for Mohammad Siraj? Or for Mohammad Shami?
At this point in time, it looks really difficult for him to make a comeback. Had it been this would have been the home season, he could have tried to make a comeback. If he's not in consideration now, he's got 15 wickets in 3 Ranji Trophy matches, but whatever little I saw of him, I mean, he's still, the swing is there, the seam position and all is fantastic, but perhaps he's lost about 5-10 kilometers from where he was at his best. And I think right now in this very crowded Indian, talent pool, for him to make a position is difficult. I think
it's tough to
my
say.
gut feel is India go to New Zealand N26. If India had gone to New Zealand N25, I think Shami would have had a go.
Yeah.
But in these conditions, do you need Shami? Siraj is bowling very well. Bumrah is bowling very well. And after these 2 test matches, then India don't play a test match till next August. Because once these 2 test matches are done, India playing white ball cricket against South Africa, white ball cricket against New Zealand, T20 World Cup, IPL. It's not till Sri Lanka next August that India play another test match.
Yep.
And again, in Sri Lanka, you get largely India's kind of conditions.
Yeah.
So the next time you need a 3 or 4 seam bowling situation is when you go to New Zealand at the end of the year. Does Shami have it in him to keep going till end 26? I really hope he does. Because don't forget, Shami is quite a tough guy. You don't survive all these years without being a tough guy. Yeah. But at the moment, I don't see the selectors picking him again.
For fans, very important to not be trigger happy and react to the odd piece of news, or look at the scorecard and say, oh, he's taking wickets, so pick him.
Yeah, no.
Because you look at pace, you look at how he's running in and things like that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, the selectors, had they done their job, they're probably having a chat with him also saying that, okay, this is what we need in terms of fitness, this is what we need in terms of pace. Are you a part of our plans right now? Not right now, but if you can do this, maybe you'll come in. I think they are probably that top pool of 20-25 top Indian players. It's their responsibility to talk to them and try to explain to them where they stand in the selection committee's mind right now. And I think a lot of it has been done. I mean, Ajit has done a fair amount of that kind of communication with a lot of players as well.
I don't know what speed he's bowling at, because I've been seeing scorecards, the odd highlights that you see, but I've not been seeing whether he's back to bowling 135 plus consistently. If he's bowling 135 plus, then he's back to being the Shami that we know. So I don't have enough evidence to form a conclusion.
India perhaps scarred by that loss to New Zealand at home last year, which ensured that India didn't make it to the final. From a WTC scenario point of view, take a look at where India find themselves against the World Test champion South Africa, who are at 5. And so important that India, don't lose their focus, and because a win in this series should pretty much bring them closer to that WTC final ticket, Joy.
Yeah, I think definitely these are very important matches for us. And I think we just need to, it's an opportunity to try and catch up with Australia, go over Sri Lanka, and they'll be looking to really press the accelerator in these 2 matches. And home conditions, but the interesting thing is that India has to win with their batting. Because I think bowling-wise, this Australian team is South African team is a very well-rounded side. It has fast bowlers to exploit all conditions. It has quality fast bowlers, Jansen and Rabada, quality fast bowlers, Maharaj and company, Simon Harmer, quality spinners. I think the batters will just have to give India
big go. That's why my gut feel is that Jurel will play as a batter. That's my gut feel.
And my gut feel is that most of you didn't get the answer to Joy Factor right. Let's bring up the question once again. Let's remind you what it was. Tricky one, sir, all yours.
Okay, why would I ask a question on that? High school team and editor-in-chief, it's a bit, contemporary. Well, this person's mother was nominated for a Academy Award. The film was Best Foreign Film. Salam Bombay was there in the category. Meera Nair is the mother, and the person, of course, is Zoran Mamdani, who's just become the mayor of New York.
I'll tell you something very interesting. I did not know about Meera Nair and Mamdani, the Mamdani connection. I'm listening to this podcast called Empire, and I'm very fascinated by the movements of people across. It's something that's an area that fascinates me, and especially Kenyans, Ugandans around the Idi Amin time moving to England, and England giving them citizenship, and a lot of them moved there because I know a lot of people, some people in England who moved from there. So I'm listening to that. The expert on that podcast is a man called Mamdani.
Mahmood Mamdani.
Mahmood Mamdani.
Father.
So I'm telling my wife, I said, it's interesting, this guy called Mahmood Mamdani. She said, oh, must be Zoran Mamdani's father. And so that is how I knew the father. And the mother, I hadn't known of the son.
The father taught my niece in Columbia. He teaches at Howard, Columbia. He's very, very well regarded as an academic.
Wow, Thursday evening history lessons.
Thank God we moved away from electromagnetism.
We had physics, now we've got history lessons. There's more coming up on Cricbuzz Live on Saturday at 1:15 p.m. But before we say bye, what about the winner's name? I'm sure many of your Twitter fans got it right. Has to be a Bengali, sir.
But how do you know? Agnish.
Das.
Agnish Kumar
But Das can be in any part of the country.
Shiv Sundar Das was from Odisha.
Achha, Das mein se Das number iske liye?
Can we talk about the other winner today? Somebody won the competition as well. Please
Sir,
give a big hand.
we started the show with Collar Upar, sir.
इससे पहले ODI में भी जीता हूँ मैं. Don't forget. And that is the sole reason why we are not putting out the numbers here.
Otherwise, to 2019
it's the only time I'm going to be ahead of Murli Karthik.
Your real form should be on display at the World Cup, sir.
Over
Abhi
there,
to trial chal raha hai.
In World Cups and in the IPL, my only ambition is to be on the left-hand side of the column.
And ahead of Murli Karthik.
Bottom of right. No, Murli Karthik is way too far. Way too ahead of me most times.
Friend of Rory McIlroy, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, more on Murli Karthik, but that's off air, not for you guys and girls. We're done for the day. Good Thursday evening. We'll see you again at 1:15 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. Bye-bye.